What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two Beans in a Pod. My name is Jose.
Jared right here.
And we are two brothers that enjoy watching sports, especially when the San Francisco 49ers are winning games, but that was not the case this week. This week, the San Francisco 49ers had the Kansas City Chiefs visiting, and they would lose 44-23 in what was one of the more embarrassing defensive performances of the season. Obviously, I know you have a lot you want to get off your chest, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to do so in a bit. Just make sure you leave some time for me, but go right ahead.
All right. I'm going to just keep it straightforward, man. I'm used to it. I'm just used to being let down as a fan, and it's just really annoying, you know, because, I guess you could say we do have kind of, high expectations as opposed to being a winning franchise, but that was, how many years ago? Over 30, dude. We weren't even born. Okay, and what's also annoying is we have the pieces, we have the weapons. We just traded for McCaffrey, dude, and McCaffrey, when healthy, top 3 running backs in the game right now. Okay, and I get he was gonna be a little bit limited for red zone packages, but I saw him already out there when we haven't even passed the 50 yet. I'm like, oh, so he does know the plays. Okay, fine. Well, let's use him for certain situations, and we did, and most of the time it worked. Okay. But then the repetition started picking up, and it became way too predictable for the offense. Every time I see us first play of the series that we have, we always run it. And I get it, you want to establish the time of possession. I get it. But it's too predictable because when I want to run the ball, I'm not going to run just to get the clock going. No, I'm trying to run to gain yards. And every time we always go straight down, we get stopped. And the defensive side, what the hell was that, man? What the hell? I thought we had the number 1 defense. And I get it, Kansas City is a good team. But I heard we're a good team as well. From what I saw, nah, man, this looked like a team who's legit tanking. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, we can't tank because we don't have any draft picks. Why? Because you trade those first rounders for a quarterback who's hurt. And I'm not going to bash Trey, okay? I like Trey, you know? But we also need an offensive line, okay? Preferably a right tackle. Because I didn't see the right tackle anywhere, okay? I thought I saw a tight end out there, but no, that was actually McGlinchey. Holy crap, dude. I'm sorry, but dude. Please, man, eat something, man. You know, eat spinach like Popeye and, bulk up or something, dude. Okay, man? Because, it's National Tight Ends Day, okay? I want to see Kittle make some catches. And I saw him make a touchdown. That was cool and handy. But I also need the defense to also handle their business.
Well, see, here, you talked about McGlinchey, and now you're moving over to the defense. And that's one critique I always have for you is
it's a combination of everything, dude.
No, exactly. That's why I feel like you just get mad at the whole team. So I don't like when you start blaming this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy. So the point is, you just have beef with the team at this rate.
Well, here's the thing, okay? I'm not mad at 2 people. And those 2 people, you know who they are? You know the 2 people that I'm not really mad at?
Go right ahead.
I am not mad at Mitch Wishnowsky and Robbie Gould. Because they did their part.
They always fill in their part.
Yeah, they always do their part. But, okay. This is a win or lose type of season now, okay? We legit have no draft picks. Yes, they're all late rounders, but it's dude, we need to win this year. We need to win, okay? And this honestly, Shanahan should be on the hot seat right now, man. Because, dude, it's been 6 years, same thing happening over and over and over. Always losing, blowing leads, or never making a comeback. It's getting so old. Okay, if there's a situation where we fire him, I either want Sean Payton or Anthony Lynn as our coach.
But here's the thing, though. You don't get to decide that. So let's say we do end up letting go of Shanahan, because you've already made it well apparent, especially prior to us recording this episode, that you said that you're done with Shanahan. That, if nothing happens here in this season, you say let him go. First of all, you say every year is a must-win season. You've been saying that for the last, 4 years? Since we got Jimmy at this rate.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're saying, okay, fine, let's move away from Shanahan. And you're like, we got to get Pete Carroll or Anthony Lynn. Well, you can't decide that. So if we move off of Shanahan, what if Sean Payton doesn't want to coach us?
Okay, we got Anthony Lynn.
What if Anthony Lynn doesn't want the position? I'm sure he would. Why not? You know, he's already there. But still, you can't guarantee. And not only that, how can you guarantee that Anthony Lynn would be a good fit? What did Anthony Lynn do with the Chargers?
Okay.
They didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They got Justin Herberts, which means they were bad enough to get the a top pick in the draft.
Yep.
So you can't have it both ways. I look at the offense, and I told you I tried to be a little bit more optimistic and be, take away from the positives. I like what I saw from Christian McCaffrey.
And I do appreciate some of the positives because at least it makes me somewhat a little bit more happy. Okay?
Well, because that's how you have to look at it. If you consistently look at the negatives, you're never going to go anywhere, and you're going to be stuck in in just the negatives. Christian McCaffrey carried the ball for 8 attempts. He had almost 40 yards, and he was averaging nearly 5 yards per carry. That's pretty solid. There were in the initial first quarter, he carried multiple carries for first downs. So I like what I see from McCaffrey. I look at George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. They were really implemented into this offense with George Kittle having a touchdown, 98 yards, and Brandon Ayuk having 82 yards of his own. This was a game that really, kind of spread the ball. You saw Debo get it a few times for 42 yards. Ray McLeod, Juszczyk, even McCaffrey was catching some balls. So they really, I don't want to say it was the best the offense has looked, but early on in that first half, they really seemed to be gaining a little bit of momentum and gaining rhythm, and I thought that was a good sign. The defense, however, did allow Mahomes to throw for over 400 yards, and they were able to have 3 rushers that had over 25 yards. Now, of course, maybe not that much, but when you add it up, the Kansas City Chiefs had over 112 yards rushing the ball, including 3 touchdowns, 2 from Hardman, 1 from Edwards-Helaire. Receiving was a big problem, and that's always have been an issue for us. I always look at the secondary. But when you have guys like Travis Kelce, 98 yards. You have Valdez-Scantling, 111 yards. Juju, 124 yards. Like, we were allowing them to throw the ball and really get their offense moving. That's why they put up 44 points on us. The defense was lacking, and unfortunately we did have guys like Nick Bosa back, Trent Williams, I know Trevarius Ward, Ufanga. I know I mentioned Trent Williams, and I'll get to him later, but the defense was lacking. Unfortunately, like you mentioned, they did not perform like the number 1 defense, but statistically wise, they were the number 1 defense. Of course, after this game, not no more. You can't allow a team to score 44 points on you and
at
throw
your home too,
on your home field, and allow 417 yards in the air and 112 on the ground. Again, this is one of the most disappointing performances, and we were like this with the Chicago game. But I feel like this was even worse. It was much more, more eyes were on this game. It was a Super Bowl rematch, Christian McCaffrey's first game with us officially, and it's not a good look.
You know what this also reminded me of?
What's that?
The 2020 season where we faced the Dolphins. Remember that game? We got blown out big time.
Yeah, no. And again, I try to move away from that, but I do remember that game. Just initial reaction. I know we didn't get to cover this only because of the scheduling wise of the podcast, but how about the Christian McCaffrey trade? What were your initial thoughts on that, and what is your hope going forward with the season? Now having Christian McCaffrey, who you did mention you believed to be a top 3 running back in the league.
Well, I'm both happy, but then a little bit nervous, okay? Because with me, I try to look at the positives like you, okay? We traded someone for a running back, and we all know how Shanahan loves running backs, And I'm like, okay, cool, another weapon on the backfield. Now, if we can implement it perfectly, we should be able to win, okay? But every move there is, there's also a risk, okay? If there's a scenario where he gets hurt, it's gonna hurt us. On top of that, we barely have any earlier draft picks for next year's draft. Our next pick is a 3rd rounder?
Yeah, we have a few 3rd rounders.
But it's a late rounder too.
Yeah.
And if this is a win-our scenario, dude. If we don't win this year, it's going to be really hard to get some good players in the draft. And I know the whole 5th rounds, we always do good, but it's usually mostly for linebackers, a little bit of receivers, and tight ends, okay? We need offensive lineman. Okay? And with McCaffrey, I'm really happy we got him. I'm just worried on how Shanahan would use him. Because there's some points in times where he overuses players. Look at Debo last year, especially in the postseason, dude. Debo carried us. Okay?
I agree with that take, but when you want to say that he overuses players, okay, I agree with the Debo take. Who else? Who else does he overuse?
Well, right now, it's not really no one now. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more well balanced, but it's because people figured out Debo whenever he's in the backfield. I feel like when you use people too much, teams tend to adapt quickly. Okay, yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott that one year.
Yeah.
Okay, they're really good, but the next year they kind of figure it out already. And I feel like the more you use it, the quicker they figure it out. So I feel like it's going to hurt us, especially once it comes to divisional games, because we face them 2 times a year. Like next week, we're facing against LA. Okay?
The Rams, to clarify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Debo, it's nice to have him in the backfield, try to trick McVay, but it's kind of like, it's kind of predictable. We know what's going to do when Debo's in the backfield, okay? But now since we have McCaffrey, it's like, okay, we got McCaffrey now and you got Debo.
So
who's he going to give it to? And that's one thing I kind of do like, but then we got to be a little bit more careful with that, okay? Because I feel like no matter what, if you have Debo, it's going to be predictable, okay?
Stop saying okay. Okay?
I'm sorry.
I can tell when you get antsy and
I'm sorry.
You have like this.
It's just this game that just happened. It's annoying.
Here's my thing. Okay, so you brought up. See, now I said it. I'm gonna bring up a couple points that you just made. One, you talk about overusing players, but based off of this game, obviously, we didn't win. It was not a good performance. But what were your thoughts on spreading the ball? We saw guys like George Kittle. We saw guys Debo, Brandon, McCaffrey, Jeff Wilson Jr. You can't lie to me.
I liked it. We shared the ball. I loved it. I loved it. It's just we can never finish. And I feel like a way that can help us if we get a little bit of help on the offensive line and discipline when it comes to flags. Okay? Because flags also killed us, dude.
That was a big problem with this game. A lot of penalties, especially against the Niners. I mean, the Chiefs did get their fair share of penalties, but a lot of the penalties that were called on us prohibited us from scoring, from moving the ball. I mean, you look at the stat lines. We ended up having 10 penalties for 80 yards. That stalled us a lot. Whether it was our first downs or our third down efficiency, which we were 8 of 14.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't able to convert. That was a big issue on our end. But moving on, back to my second point, because the first point was about overusage. The second point being the division. We faced the LA Rams, who are our biggest rival at the moment, not only in the league, but in the division, of course. With this loss, we now fall to 3-4. We're now tied with Arizona, 3-4. The Rams are on their bye week; they're 3-3. The Seattle Seahawks, at this moment, because we're recording right after the game on Sunday, the Seattle Seahawks have defeated the Los Angeles Chargers by a score of 37-23. The Seahawks, as of right now, are the number 1 seed in the NFC West, which I don't think anybody had on their scorecard heading into this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, this upcoming game against the LA Rams is a must-win. Not only because it's divisional. If we win, we go 3-0 in the division. But it also propels us back into that top spot depending on how Seattle performs. It's a must-win. I think we're going to win this game.
We should win this game. And if we don't, dude, Kyle Shanahan should be on the hot seat because this is getting ridiculous at this point. Back-to-back losses, dude. Okay? And keep in mind, we lost to the Falcons. They're tanking,
That's a
dude.
trap game. No, but I told you, anybody that listens to me, anybody that listens to the podcast, or any of our friends that talk sports, I was saying weeks in advance that was a trap game. The Falcons are always a trap game with us.
Yeah, and you would think Shanahan would adapt quickly and realize, okay, this team's always giving us a hard time. What's something we can change? And we barely made any adjustments. And that's what's getting so, old.
And what happened. I keep complaining about that Broncos game, but it's in the past. Just like the Falcons game, and now the Chiefs game is in the past.
I moved on from the rest of the games. The Chiefs game is just bothering me because we had expectations. Okay, we got the weapons now. We got McCaffrey.
Yeah.
It should help us out a little bit. And it just did the exact opposite. And now I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about next week's game. Okay? We should win this game. There was no excuse. We're undefeated when facing the Rams in the regular season.
Yeah.
Okay? This is a game we should win. There's no excuse. Okay?
No, there isn't. And I will say, and I'm glad you brought up the Chiefs game. Again, heading into that game, who did I say was going to win that game?
You said Kansas City.
I said the Chiefs should win that game. They are, at the moment, the hotter team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Patrick Mahomes, whether you like it or not, is one of the better quarterbacks. He's one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. Again, whether you like it or not, it's come on, it's hard to argue. No, now given that we lost that game and we lost to the Falcons, that's now back-to-back losses, counting for a 3-4 record.
Mm-hmm.
Very rare do we go 3 straight losses. This is a team that we're very familiar with. Sean McVay worked under Kyle Shanahan, so he knows Sean's tendencies. And again, like we said, it's a must-win division-wise and also for playoff implications. If we're going to lose games, it should be against AFC teams. But the games we have to win, especially our conference games, with a special heightened sense on the NFC West division games.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a game I definitely think we're going to be winning. I believe it's going to be in Levi's, correct?
No, it's going to be in SoFi.
It's in SoFi.
Yeah.
Okay, that's even more interesting. Whether it is at Levi's or it is at SoFi, we do, like you said,
we travel pretty well.
We travel really well. So I like our chances in terms of our crowd participation. I do anticipate us getting the win, and I see us winning. I think the defense performs a hell of a lot better than they did today.
They should be. And let me ask you something, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's say things don't go according to plan and we lose. Yeah. What are your reactions then?
So obviously it's difficult to do that given that it's still a week away.
Mm-hmm. But your expectations is we should win, correct?
I think we should win.
Okay, now if we lose, what do you think then?
I have to see what was the main contributions. Going off of this game, I'm thinking it's because our defense was lacking again.
Mm-hmm.
Because at this rate, I do agree with you in terms of the offense. I think when you have guys like Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, CMC, Jimmy Garoppolo, who again knows the offense real well, Trent Williams is back. Juszczyk, of course. I'd be remiss to not mention Juszczyk, but I feel like that offense is too good to not be putting up points. We put up 23 points,
something like that,
which is the most we've done in a couple weeks now. The defense, for some reason, just wasn't showing up today. I do think we end up winning that game. I think we win that game probably 27 to 17. That's my prediction, and I think we should win that game, and we'll go up 4-4 on the standings.
Mm-hmm.
And again, depending on how the Seahawks perform, that may be good enough to get us get back first in the division. What are do you have a prediction yet, or do you want to hold off on that, or how do you think that game?
I really don't have like a certain prediction. I'm just expecting a win. Okay, that's all I'm expecting. Okay.
Yeah.
Because if we lose another game, 3 games in a row, I'm pretty sure like there's something gonna be going on with Shanahan's job. Okay, because no coach would want to lose 3 games in a row. Okay.
Especially of this caliber with the roster that we have.
And that's also another thing. Like, we should win this next game. We should. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, but next week is the week after that is the bye week, right?
For the Niners, I believe so.
I don't know, man. Like, this season is we're in a weird position, okay? Because there's games we should have won, and there's games where we should have did our part, or at least been in somewhat competition.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, man. Like,
the Niners are in a weird state of flux right now where they should be doing a lot better. They're underperforming and they're underachieving at this rate because I do believe we could have 5 wins so far in this season.
Yeah.
That was not the case, and that's not in the cards. But moving forward, because I just want to touch something real quick. You and I are pretty relaxed right now in this conversation.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the energy was exerted during the game because for those that obviously haven't seen us watch a Niner game, usually we're very calm and we're very quiet. But for this game against the Chiefs, I think this was the most animated we have been in a while. Like I think I yelled at you at one point.
I don't know. A lot has happened, dude. It's because, ever since the schedule released, everyone in our family knew, we're facing the Chiefs. We all know this is going to be an important game for me. Okay?
Yeah.
After what happened in the Super Bowl a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's
always a tough game, especially when you're facing... Like, I remember losing to the Ravens in Super Bowl 47. Anytime we faced the Ravens afterwards, it was a big game for me, personally.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the case for you now with the Chiefs.
Because we had it. We had that game, but obviously...
The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say, because this game...
Oh, no. This game, we weren't even there to begin with, dude.
Well, no, we going into half, it was still, relatively close. We were down 1 point.
But even then...
It got out of hand after the third.
The majority of the time, though, we kept kicking field goals. And the field goals is not what's going to save us. We need to score touchdowns. And that wasn't the case. We didn't show up.
Yeah. I believe I saw this on Twitter, and Steve Young said it best. He said, quote, maybe not verbatim, but this is something along the lines he said. He said, the more you kick field goals, the more you're increasing your chances of losing. And I thought that was very profound because you're not showing that sense of aggression and,
urgency.
That urgency, exactly. So I agree with you. And thankfully we have one of the best field goal kickers in the game.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't feel like he should be carrying as much of the load as he does in terms of our offensive points.
Yeah.
Moving on from the Niners, just because I know this is a topic that you and I can go on and on, I want to touch on some other stuff given, going on in the NFL. You talk about doing your part and handling your business. What's going on with the Packers and the Buccaneers, man? The Packers now have a losing season. They just lost to the Washington Commanders. And Tom Brady and the Buccaneers only scored 3 points and lost to the Carolina Panthers, who gave up Robbie Anderson to the Cardinals and, of course, Christian McCaffrey to us, the Niners. What's your take on the Packers and Buccaneers? And do you think that their times, in the NFL is almost expiring? Yeah. Do you think their time's almost up?
Well, I think with the Packers, I think their time is already up. Because I knew the moment Aaron Rodgers got that bag, they're not going to afford anyone. You saw how Devontae Adams was already gone by then.
Yeah.
And look how he's over there. He's miserable over there in Vegas.
They just won their second game of the season, which is crazy to think.
But on top of that, Derek Carr got hurt.
That is true. They did face the Texans, 38-20 was a victory. Mm-hmm. How about the Tom Brady stuff in Tampa Bay?
I don't know what the hell's going on over there in Tampa Bay. Well, actually, no, I do know what's going on. I'm sorry, but Brady, you got to retire, bro. You got to watch out for your health. Because I don't want you to be like Brett Favre, man.
It's crazy to think because last year he looked really good. He was still capable of carrying a team and producing an offense. But, you could see all over this game just bad passes, whether they were ducks, whether they were out of bounds. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady just doesn't look the same, and it's a shame. And a couple of days ago in a press conference, he even said he does not plan on retiring after this season.
Oh, damn. I feel sorry for you Tampa Bay fans.
And I saw somewhere on Twitter, AB, Antonio Brown, was tweeting, criticism of the Tampa Bay.
Well, to be fair,
he called him the Tampon Bay, and he said Tom Booty.
I'm sorry. That's actually kind of funny. But then again, he's not with the team, though. So what does he have to say about
the whole AB situation is a whole... it can be a documentary on its own.
I know, dude. Legit, almost like every team, something happened with them. I don't know.
How about some of the most surprising teams in the NFL right now, I think, are both located in New York. The Jets are 5-2. The Giants are 6-1. Both are second place in their respective divisions. What are your thoughts on the Jets and the Giants right now?
Well, good for the Jets, okay? Robert Saleh, that dude's a G, and he is a winner, okay? He is a great coach now, because I'm so used to him being a defensive coordinator for us.
Yeah.
The Giants, that one really caught me off guard, okay? Because I knew the Jets, I'm like, okay, they got Saleh. Pretty good, okay? Yeah. But the Giants, though, that one, a little bit of a dark horse, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if they barely make it into the playoffs.
They could make it, though. Right now, the Giants are 6-1. The Eagles, who are on a bye week, are 6-0 at the moment. And then the Dallas Cowboys are 5-2. So the Giants are right in the middle of the thick of things. Don't be surprised if they do make the playoffs. And now that they have Brian Daboll as their head coach, who was previously with the Buffalo Bills, the Giants are looking good. Daniel Jones is looking the best he has ever since entering the league.
And it makes sense why they're winning, because their coach was with the Bills.
Yeah, he brought over that offense that he had implemented in Buffalo, and he's definitely brought it to the Giants. New York football hasn't been this good in years. You look at the Bills, the Giants, and the Jets. Really exciting for them.
That's true. All three teams are pretty good now.
All three teams they have more than 5 wins, which is again phenomenal for them. That's great for them. Of course, we wouldn't. We would like that for us going on.
Yeah, but
the Niners,
whatever, man. I'm used to it.
Very tough. But this goes up to my conspiracy theory. The Niners aren't doing too hot right now.
We need to go back to San Francisco.
No, God. That's not the point. I would like to. I think it was great.
The weather's nice.
I think moving to Santa Clara, kind of sucked because I really liked Candlestick. I thought it was a great stadium. And
I'm sorry to cut you off, but can I ask you one question?
That's fine. What's up?
What's in Santa Clara?
What's in Santa Clara? The Niners.
Okay, but aside from our team, what is there?
It's the Valley.
Because, okay, here's one thing that got me...
Silicon Valley.
Here's one thing that got me thinking, okay? Where each team is located, they got something like a tourist attraction, I guess, that they have over there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? For example, New York. They got everything, dude.
Well, New York, is the capital of the world.
Yeah. No, and that thing's weird, though, okay? They're the capital of the world, but in this country, it's Washington, D.C.,
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Philly, okay? They got the whole Rocky statue thing, whatever, right?
They got Philly cheesesteaks.
Pretty good, by the way.
I've never had a Philly cheese from Philly. They're probably Brenda from work.
Yeah.
Says they're really good. You can't even compare them.
That's what I heard too.
One of these days, if we ever go to Philly, which would be cool. I mean, we probably will never go to Philly, but if we do end up going to Philly, we gotta get a Philly.
I'm pretty sure we got family over there, okay?
You'd be surprised. We have a lot of family everywhere.
We really do, man. Dude, we got family in Spain.
Yeah. Spain, all over this country of America, Mexico, naturally.
Yeah.
But going back to my theory about the Niners. See, I just gave it away.
Yeah.
The Niners, whenever they're not doing too hot or doing good, the Warriors end up doing well. And I've been saying since the beginning of the basketball season that we're going back to back.
Mm-hmm.
As it currently stands, at the time of this recording, it is 5 o'clock on Sunday.
We play today?
We do play today. We play tonight against the Sacramento Kings.
I hope we win. That can actually make me happy.
Hopefully. Currently, right now, again, at the time of this recording, we're 1-1. We had defeated the LA Lakers on opening night and then fell to the Denver Nuggets in a defeating loss that almost got forced to overtime. But we have the Sacramento Kings coming up. First of all, for anyone listening out there, I apologize for the noise. I believe someone is cutting down their tree next door, and I feel like you can hear that. Bear with us.
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, thoughts on the Warriors right now after 2 games, and the first 2 games we were able to watch on TV. So, what are your thoughts on the Warriors so far?
Okay, well here's how I look at it. Okay, the Niners, that's my main girl. Okay, but then you got the Warriors. That's my side piece. Okay, because
how are you going to make that analogy?
Okay, hold on. When things ain't going too good with the main, you got the side piece, and they're always there.
Are you condoning side pieces now?
Okay, hold on. Here's the thing. Every time when I see the Warriors, they're always winning, and they always make me happy whenever the Niners are making me upset. Yeah. Sad, depressing, angry, frustrated.
It's basically the 5 stages of, what is it, depression?
Pretty much.
Grief, excuse me. The 5 stages of grief.
Pretty much, man. I don't know. It's like this, okay? You got, it's like the same Raimi Spider-Man movies, okay? You got Mary Jane, who's the Niners, where there's always something going on and some beef. And then you got Ursula, Mr. Dickovich's daughter. She's always there for you. She's always nice. Hell, she made you a cake and cookies, okay? And she even offered with nuts, okay?
Go make me some.
She's a nice person, all right? I don't know, man. Like, the Warriors...
For those of who don't understand the reference he made, please go out of your way of watching the Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
I highly suggest it, especially if you're a Marvel fan. If you're not, I highly suggest it anyway. They're a good time.
Mm-hmm. The second one's the best one, by the way.
Obviously.
But back to the Warriors. I don't want to say we're spoiled, but I am kind of expecting to win.
You did say that. Earlier you said Warrior fans were spoiled. That's what you said.
No, you know why? Because the front office, they know what the hell they're doing. Bob Myers is a freaking G, okay? Think about it, Jose. On paper, listen to this, okay? On paper.
Go ahead.
We got, heading to the 2015 season, okay? We obviously got Curry, we got Clay, and then we got Draymond Iguodala, okay? After that, we got Kevin Durant, okay? Then on paper, okay?
Go ahead.
We got DeMarcus Cousins.
Yes, sir.
Okay? It's pretty crazy as it is, okay? On top of that, we somehow managed to get, the second pick in the draft. I know because we did bad, but we also got James Wiseman, okay? And also, we also had...
Andrew Wiggins.
Andrew Wiggins, yes, I'm so sorry. See, here's the funny part. When we first got Wiggins, I wasn't a fan.
You were not a fan.
I was not a fan, dude. But now...
You didn't see the vision.
Yeah, but now, I'm very welcomed, okay? I'm thankful that we got him, okay? For his time in the playoff run and everything, okay? I'll never forget the dunk on Luka, okay?
It was a great dunk. And I'm glad you brought up Wiggins. And first of all, I'd be remiss to not mention, you mentioned all these names of the stars that came to the Warriors, but regardless, every time... No, let me finish now.
I thought it was one great player.
Go ahead.
He was very underrated.
Fine, go ahead.
David West.
I thought you were going to say Sean Livingston.
Oh, and Livingston was already there, though.
No, but he was in 2014. The 2014-2015 season was his first year.
Oh, really?
Here's the thing. Every version of those teams had a good bench with guys like Leandro Barbosa, Livingston, David West, Fistus Ezeli, JaVale McGee,
Mo Spates.
There's so many guys I'm missing.
We got depth.
Gary Payton the second, Otto Porter, Andrew Bogut. There's again so many names on that bench.
Yeah,
so much talent. But again, I'm glad you brought up Wiggins because as of right now, through 2 games, he's our second leading scorer with 21.5 points. Obviously, our number 1 scorer is Stephen Curry, who's averaging 34 points a game. He's carrying the load while, you have guys like Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole still trying to find their groove. Klay has 17 points a game, but his minutes are restricted just because it's his first full season since the injury, and then Jordan Poole coming off the bench.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there a game on TV?
Our game is not on TV tonight.
Damn it.
I know, so we're going to have to wait for the highlights on that one.
Because that's a stress reliever for me, man. Just watching the Warriors play.
Well,
I love seeing us play, man. Dude, remember that one point? I always loved seeing this. We were winning so bad at one point, we were coaching ourselves against the Suns.
Oh, you said winning so bad. So you know we were winning so great.
Yeah, we were winning so great. We were legit coaching
ourselves.
Coached,
yeah, against the Phoenix Suns, who suffered a loss against the Blazers the other night in overtime.
Yeah.
To give you my take on the Warriors, I like what I saw the first couple of games. I think our depth is definitely going to, grow and continue to progress. Stephen Curry is Stephen Curry. Klay Thompson will continue to grow and get better now that he's coming back in his full strength. Jordan Poole, again, is another weapon off the bench that is definitely going to help us with points-wise. The whole, Draymond Green situation, I'm not too worried about. I feel like they're going to figure it out. And they've already looked like they've been playing well together. You saw a couple instances against Denver where they teamed up on defense, even helping each other up and patting each other on the back. You would not have thought that there was an issue.
Well, here's the thing, okay? Most of the time, whenever there's arguments on teams or players, you want to know what fixes everything? Winning.
Winning cures all.
And I feel like if Shaq and Kobe would have won in, 2004 against... was the Pistons?
It was the Pistons, yes.
I feel like if they would have won, they might have...
Who knows?
They might have would have stuck together still. Okay, because winning pretty much solves everything, dude. And you want to know something funny, though? Most of the time, whenever we start up slow in the regular season, we always win. Okay? For example, when we first got Kevin Durant and we got blown out by San Antonio, everyone's like, oh my God, this is...
I remember that. They're like, oh, they're frauds. They're not real.
And I'm like,
and we ended up... No, and then that was the season... where we went 16-1.
Dude, I remember that. I remember that playoff run, dude.
People don't see the vision, but it's like I told you, and I told everybody, like the Warriors are one of the most well-run organizations in the NBA, maybe just in sports.
Yeah.
Because to see what they were able to achieve from the beginning of Joe, Lacob's reign as the owner, as well as Peter Gruber, and to see what they've formed now, and to what maybe has become a top 5 franchise in league history. Because who would you put with them? I mean, the Lakers and Celtics, the Bulls, the Spurs, then the Warriors.
What about the Heat at one point?
The Heat. I mean,
because with the whole LeBron days.
No, absolutely. I think that's a fair comparison. But I also look at winning, and the Heat only have 3 championships.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The Warriors do have, 7
total. Yeah.
But they have 4 in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
So they were able to accomplish more in 8 years than the Heat were in the last 30 years of their existence.
Yeah.
Which is to take nothing away from the Heat. I think they're another one, great ran organization, great coach, great GM, great owner.
Do you think we're a dynasty now?
I think no. I think you're joking, right?
Yeah,
I was gonna say I think we were a dynasty back in 2018.
Yeah, I'm ribbing you, dude.
All right, this is a rib. So yeah, real hopeful for the Warriors. Again, the Niners definitely a team that is. They love to play with our emotions, but the Warriors have become that comfort food. You know what I mean? Like whenever, even when losing, have you noticed that even when the Warriors lose, we still look good? It's just like
most of the time when we lose, we barely lose though too.
That Denver game that we lost, I was very upset with because it was just dumb turnovers. Like we're better than that. It's not like we were just outplayed. We outplayed ourselves. We forced Denver to have 21 turnovers.
You wanna know what's funny though? Every time when we lose, about like 90% of the time we win the next game. It's very rare for us to lose back-to-back games.
It's very rare for us to lose back-to-back games. You're 100% right. And now that we have the Sacramento Kings coming to our house, they're going to play in Chase.
Oh, it's at home.
It's at home. We're favored by 10, minus 10. And when you look at the guys like on the Kings, right? Mm-hmm. Their best players, De'Aaron Fox. They have Domantas Sabonis. They have Harrison Barnes still. Remember Harrison Barnes used to play for us as well.
Yeah, I remember him.
This is a team I don't think we have any business losing to. Their best player is De'Aaron Fox, who's averaging 35 points a game. Really good for De'Aaron Fox. I'm glad to see him start doing well with the team after being with them for so many years.
Like 2017 he was drafted?
About because I know he was feuding with Lonzo when Lonzo came in. Him and the whole Ball family.
They were?
Well, it's because the whole thing like, oh, my son's better than you. That kind of stuff. Which, again, just to touch on real quickly, I have nothing against LeVar Ball. I think as a father, you should always want to hype up your son and celebrate him and support him.
Yeah.
But in that instance, it did not help Lonzo because now you're having all these NBA talent now targeting Lonzo like, oh, you're that good?
I'll tell you what, though. Marketing-wise, though, it helped because he got famous pretty quick.
He got the big baller brand.
Oh, really man. BBB.
BBB.
What happened to those shoes?
I don't know. They're not still around, are they?
I don't even know anymore, man.
You're the shoe expert, not me.
Dude, legit, last time I heard, I think they were going bankrupt or something. No, remember at one point the shoes were going for like $400?
Yeah, they were overselling them, like overpricing them. Because they were saying it was going to be like worth it down the line. And I got nothing but love and respect for Lonzo. I think he's done great with the Chicago Bulls. Hopefully when he comes back from his injury, he'll be able to pick up where he left off. But again, what LeVar was saying did him no favors because he was being targeted by the best in the league. So, moving forward, I'm hoping that the Niners can figure this out and defeat the LA Rams, go on a 4-4 record, and maybe reclaim the number 1 spot. The Warriors game is about to start, so we're going to go ahead and sign off. So, brother, if you want to go ahead and plug them, let them know where they can find you.
All right, boys, find me on twitch.tv/sanfran5. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming Thursday, so stay tuned. And I'm definitely going to be streaming this Friday for the Resident Evil 8 DLC coming out. I'm really hyped about that, you know. Yeah, YouTube, Sanfran5. And of course, you know, Snapchat, broke_b_445.
Gotta promote that one.
But yeah, please follow me on YouTube, though. I really appreciate it, y'all. And give me your feedbacks as well.
We do have it linked up on our YouTube channel for Two Beans in a Pod. So if you follow us on that YouTube channel, you will find a link to his YouTube channel as well.
Yep, and pretty soon I am going to be buying a camera. Okay, so for Scary Let's Plays, yeah, you're going to see me freaking throw stuff across the room, especially for Halo.
Is that what that noise is I hear?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was just tripping.
Well, yeah. Yeah, man, what about you?
This has been another episode of Two Beans in a Pod. You can find me on all social media platforms at JustJose_3. Make sure to follow the podcast on Spotify or even subscribe to our YouTube channel, as I mentioned, Two Beans in a Pod, where you can find each episode of this podcast on YouTube. Once again, we want to thank you for dropping by and hanging out with us and talking sports. And if you enjoyed these episodes, please leave a like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to our YouTube channel again. As always, my name is Jose, this is my brother Jared, and we have been Two Beans in a Pod.